Good to have you. And last but not least, he's the founder of Zelali Textile. Fratenis, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up, and now we are complete. Welcome to the stage. Lots to talk about throughout the next 60 minutes. Time is limited. I'm just saying it out right now. So everybody is brief but precise in their remarks and in their answers, obviously. And Davron Bakabov, we are talking about the achievements and the progress of. Let's have a quick look at the video that gives a good overview and good look.
New Uzbekistan, favorable business environment, entrepreneurship development, and were adopted to promote entrepreneurship activities and protect rights in Uzbekistan. These legislative documents have facilitated systematic efforts to protect the rights of civil life. The procedures for issuing 100 have been abolished. Significant steps have been taken to improve the business and healthcare environment. Tax administration has been simplified and tax burdens have been reduced. Tax amnesty measures have been implemented concerning debts related to entrepreneurial activities, resulting in 35 individuals involved in entrepreneurship. In the past 6 years, the number of entrepreneurship entities has increased sixfold and reached 2 million as of today. In 2022, 90,000 legal entities and 96,000 individual entrepreneurs were registered with the state. Entrepreneurs who invested more than $1 million increased to 26,000, while those who invested in entrepreneurs received 86 of the provision of preferential loans worth 33 trillion sols. More than 100,000 businesses were able to continue their activities. Banks provide loans to more than 54,900 entrepreneurs in the field of service provision in various regions. Measures have been taken to create conditions for organizing and developing entrepreneurship and share of high-value added products. To promote the development of entrepreneurship, 894 trillion souls were at the start of entrepreneurial activities. More than 100,000 women, 100,000 new job positions. Over 233,000 women received preferential credit activities.
I think during the video they really speak for themselves. Very impressive. The developments that the country has made as far as creating a favorable business
savdo palata rahbari Toshkentdagi Gen savdo sanoat palata rahbari tepadagi Turkiya, Ozarbayjon juda ko'p mamlakatlar kelgan. Sal kechikib keldim men, hozir keldim. 2da aytilgandi.
The last 60 years and the path and the hurdles that you had to remove out of the way to get to where we are today.
Assalamu alaikum. Shu tadbirga ishtirokchilar, albatta sizga katta rahmat kelganingizga. Haqiqatda bugun o'sha O'zbekiston Savdo-sanoat palatasi nomidan shaxs shaxsan o'z nomidan sherikchilik tashabbus haftaligi tadbiri barcha ishtirokchilarga samimiy minnatdorchilik bildiraman. Siz juda to'g'ri aytib o'tdingiz.
Ekspertlar bilan ko'rishuv.
Bu bekorga va bejizlik bo'lmaydi. Juda katta mehnat. Buni tayinlab oxirgi 6 yilda barcha tadbirkorlik subyektlariga va barcha soha vakillari, soha tadbirkorlariga aynan berilgan imtiyozlar, mehnati tadbirkorlarning harakati bilan bu raqamlarga erishildi. Albatta, hozirgi aytilgan bu ruxsatnomalar yoki tadbirkorlarga yengillik yaratish, agar biz oldingi ya'ni 2016-2015 yillarni solishtirgan bo'lsak, birinchi o'rinda bu yerda o'tirgan tadbirkorlarning o'zi eng kami bir yilda $1 million eksportlarga tadbirkorlar o'tiribdi. Oldin shu eksport qilishi o'zi juda mukammal bir muammo. Chunki kontrakt bo'lmagandan keyin boshqa davlatlarga eksport qilish shartnomalarini tadbirkorlar davlatning rahbari tarafidan kontraktlar arzon qiladilar, uzoq muddatli kontraktlar va har bir sohaga o'zgacha yondashuv bo'lish natijasida deb bilamiz. Ruxsatlar slaydlarni qisqacha ifodalab bersak, hozirgi shu o'rtada ko'rsatilgan masalalarni oxirgi 2017 va 2022 yilda bo'lgan narsalar va davlatlardan tadbirkorlikka berilgan imkoniyatlar natijasida qanday so'nggi 6 yilda tadbirkorlar uchun daromadlarni reabilitatsiya qilish va milliy valyuta konvertatsiya qilish bo'yicha barcha cheklovlar olib tashlandi. Qariyb 100 ta davlat fuqarolari O'zbekistonga vizasiz rejimda tashrif buyurish tizimini joriy qildi. Vizasiz deyishi bu yerda ham turizm sohasi, ham investitsiya, ham tovar aylanmasi har qancha shunga bog'liq beriladi. Va soliq yukini yanada kamaytirish, yangi ichki mahsulotga e'tibor qaratdi. Investitsiyalarni jalb etish va eksport hajmini oshirishga yangi mexanizmni joriy qildi. O'zbekistonda barcha hududlarda tegishli loyiha guruhlari tashkil etildi. Va O'zbekistonda majburiy mehnat, jumladan bolalar mehnatiga butunlay barham berildi. Ushbu chora-tadbirlarda e'tirof etgan holda nodavlat notijorat mahsulotlarga nisbatan ilgari o'rnatilgan paytlar bekor qilindi. Shu sababdan 2022 yil yakunidan agar aynan to'qimachilik sohasiga to'xtalgan bo'lsak, 2016 yil ko'rsatkichlari xomashyolar uchun $1 milliard umumiy va 4 million aholi tayyor mahsulotgacha olib chiqish bo'yicha yirik va o'rta korxonalar yosh bolalarni umuman ijodiy misol sifatida ko'rsatilgan natijalar juda ko'p va har xil sohada. O'tgan 6 yil davomida 2017-2022 yil O'zbekistonda tadbirkorlik faoliyatini rivojlantirish hamda ularning huquqlarini himoya qilish sohasida jami 3 mingdan ortiq qonunchilik hujjatlari, 173 ta O'zbekiston Respublikasi qonunlari, 343 ta prezident farmoni va 889 ta prezident qarorlari, 700 ta hukumat qarorlari qabul qilindi. Ruxsatlarga bilan O'zbekistonda amalga oshirilgan ushbu islohotlarning natijadorligi hamda yillar kesimida tadbirkorlikka ijobiy ta'sir qilgan islohotlardan kimsa to'xtalib o'tadigan. 2012 yil 1-yanvardan boshlab tadbirkorlik subyektlari faoliyatini rejadan tashqari tekshirishlarning barcha turlari, shu jumladan jinoiy ishlar doirasidagi muqobil tekshirishlarning barcha turlari bekor qilindi. Tadbirkorlar faoliyatidagi tekshiruvlar o'tkazishga moratoriy e'lon qilinishi amaliyoti joriy etildi. Va bu moratoriy natijasida tadbirkorlarning o'sishi va yuqori qo'shilgan qiymat yaratishga ham katta imkoniyat va yangi tajriba orttirilayotgan davrda shu moratoriy e'lon qilinishi tadbirkorlarning oyoqqa turishga juda katta ko'mak bo'ladi bemalol aytamiz. 2018 yil 1-sentyabrdan boshlab tadbirkorlik subyektlari faoliyatida o'tkaziladigan rejalik va nazorat tartibidagi tekshiruvlar bekor qilindi va tadbirkorlik subyektlari faoliyatida qonun buzilishi haqidagi jismoniy va yuridik shaxslarning murojaatlari asosida xavfni tahlil etish tizimi asosida tekshiruvlar o'tkazish tartibi belgilanadi. Tadbirkorlik subyektlari faoliyatida tekshiruvlar o'tkazishga qonun buzilishiga yo'l qo'yilishini oldini olish bo'yicha profilaktika tadbirlari belgilangan organlar va mahalliy davlat hokimiyati ularni ko'rsatishda umumiy muddati 787 kundan 471 kunga qisqartirildi. Va davlat xizmatlaridan eksterritoriyallik tamoyili bo'yicha foydalanish tartibi joriy etildi. Davlat idoralari tomonidan fuqarolar va tadbirkorlarga 73 ta hujjat va ma'lumotni talab qilish amalda jihatda yangi darajaga o'tishni ta'minlash maqsadida 2017 yilda har bir tuman va shaharda davlat xizmatlari markazlashgan tashkil etildi va bu yerda tadbirkorlikka qulaylik yaratish uchun davlat xizmatlarini qo'lda isloh qilish natijasida 720 tadan ortiq davlat xizmatlari 308tasi esa interaktiv shaklga ko'rsatish yo'lga qo'yildi va bu esa o'sha tadbirkorni vaqtini qisqarishi, biznesni tashkil qilishga, biznesni yo'lga qo'yish bo'yicha o'ziga bo'lgan to'siq va byurokratiyalar hammasi shu onlayn platformaga o'tgandan keyin tadbirkorga yana qo'shimcha vaqt va o'zini faoliyat yuritishga katta imkoniyat. Butun dunyoda qo'zg'atilgan koronavirus pandemiyasi davrida ham turizm, farmatsevtika, transport va to'qimachilik sanoati kabi tarmoqlar qo'llab-quvvatlash va ularni barqaror ta'minlashga alohida e'tibor ko'rsatildi. Turistik mehmonxonalar pandemiya paytida yig'imni hisoblash va to'lash umuman to'xtatildi. Tashqi savdo operatlari bo'yicha muddati o'tgan debitonik qarzdorliklari uchun xo'jalik yuritish jarimalar qo'llash to'xtatildi. Tijorat banklari tomonidan moliyaviy qiyinchilikka duch kelgan tadbirkorlarning kreditlari bo'yicha to'lovlar kechiktirish qo'llanildi. Kichik tadbirkor subyektlari umumiy ovqatlanish korxonalari, yo'lovchi tashish va maishiy xizmatlarni ko'rsatish bilan shug'ullanish tadbirkorlariga mol mulk va yer solig'ini to'lashdan ozod etildi. Bu faqat pandemiya paytida davlatda tadbirkorga qilingan o'z vaqtidagi e'tibor yordami bitta paytda hamma sohaga yordam bermoqchi. Chunki o'zingiz ko'rganda pandemiyada butun dunyoda juda katta shov-shuvga chiqib, tadbirkorlarni agar saqlab qolmaganda o'sha davlat tomonidan bu imkoniyatni bermaganda bu ko'rsatkichlar nima o'zida pandemiya paytida eksportimizdan investitsiya ko'tarildi. Natijada tadbirkorlar bilan bo'lgan jami 565 milliard so'mlik qarzlar chiqarish natijasida 19.405 nafarlarga 86 natijasida pandemiyadan zarar ko'rgan 100 mingdan ziyod korxonalar o'z faoliyatini tikladi. Hurmatli tadbir ishtirokchilari va azizlar, endi sizlar ko'p vaqtingizni olmasdan maqsadga o'tgan holda 2022-yilda tadbirkorlik sohasida erishilgan natijalarga to'xtalib o'tdik. Aynan 2022-yil. Jumladan o'tgan yili 100 ming yaqin yuridik va 96 mingga yaqin yakka tartibdagi tadbirkor subyektlari davlat ro'yxatidan o'tdi. Tijorat banklari tomonidan hududlarda 54 mingdan ziyod xizmat ko'rsatish sohasi tadbirkorlariga 41 trillion so'm kredit mablag'lari ajratildi. Xususiy sektorning yalpi ichki mahsulotlarning ulushi 80% va eksportdagi ulushi 60% yetkazish chorasida tadbirkorlar bilan to'g'ridan-to'g'ri uchrashgan ochiq muloqot formati tadbir o'tkazib kelinmoqda. Va tadbir natijasida mamlakatimizda tadbirlarni rivojlantirishga doir imtiyoz va prezident taqdim surib kelinmoqda. Va uning natijasida sohaga ijobiy ta'sir ko'rsatmoqda va yer soliqlari bo'yicha qo'llangan tadbirlar bekor qilindi. 60 qat'iy belgilangan soliq to'lash tartibiga o'tdi va qo'shilgan xizmat stavkasi 15% dan 12% ga pasaytirildi. Yoshlarning tadbirkorlik faoliyatini rivojlantirish orqali bankning tadbirkorlik faoliyati istagida bo'lgan 1,3 mingdan ziyod o'rin yaratildi. Hurmatli tadbir ishtirokchilari, sizlarga ishonch qilib aytamanki, O'zbekistonda biznes rivojlantirish, qulay ishbilarmonlik shakllantirish borasida ortga qaytib bo'lmaydigan islohotlar oldidan chiqib va shu oxirgi 6 yilda o'zim xususiy sektorda o'z o'rtasida ko'rib turgan tadbirkor sifatida bemalol ishonch qilib aytamanki, faqat oldinda biz tadbirkorlar ishlashimiz kerak. O'zbekistonning imkoniyatlari cheksiz va uni barchamiz buni bilamiz va bu narsani olg'a surib va yaxshi natija va samarga erishishga ishonch qilib rahmat.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bakaba, for providing an overview about the measures, achievements, and results Uzbekistan has carried out to improve business administration, to improve the business environment. Once again, I think the numbers that you provided in your presentation, they speak for themselves, and they attract, of course, international investors like those here on this very stage. If I'm turning to Özgüven, for instance, you are operating internationally worldwide, and a country like Uzbekistan, perhaps maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, was not on your radar, but judging by what we've just heard, tell us about your own personal entry into this country and what you as an entrepreneur have encountered here.
Konusu var. Bu özelleştirme konusunda yaklaşık 1046 adet devlet varlığı, yani arsa olsun, işte fabrika olsun, bunlar önümüzdeki dönemde satışa çıkacak ve biz bunları da Türkiye'de duyuruyoruz. Genel olarak söyleyeceklerim bu kadar. Özbekistan'ın insanlarını ve Özbekistan'ı çok seviyoruz. Teşekkür ediyorum.
Thank you. Listening to Özgür Bey, very much verifying what you've been saying and what we've heard about entrepreneurs finding a much better climate, much more conducive climate here to enter the market, and then in return becoming, if you will, Uzbekistan's ambassadors back home and encouraging other entrepreneurs to come and take advantage of this new momentum and this pace that we're seeing is something that you, Temir Sariev, as the president of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Kyrgyz Republic, I'm sure, are also encountering. I know you had a big meeting here yesterday amongst your colleagues from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and as a neighbor country, if you will, as part of this region. Can you also share your impressions about the changes that we've already heard here on stage, which an entrepreneur like Özgür Bey has verified?
На таких моментах, как наблюдатель со стороны, я поделил бы на 3 этапа. Первый этап – это до 2016 года, когда политика государства была очень такая жесткая, очень превалировало государственное регулирование. Начиная с 2016 года пошли реформы, и народ уже почувствовал, в том числе и бизнес, почувствовал вот результаты, но мы их называем как отложенный эффект, потому что долгое время это было очень сильное государственное регулирование, как я сказал, но те реформы, которые они начали, было сделано учитывая многие допущенные ошибки соседних стран в транзитный период. И вот начиная, я так думаю, с 2023 года начинается 3-й этап. Это вот то, что сегодня мы ожидаем выборы президента 9 июля, да, как мы знаем. И была объявлена вот новая политика новый Узбекистан. Это вот новый вызов, да, новый вызов. И я вчера, участвуя на нашем, они очень будут системные, потому что там заложены такие фундаментальные направления. Это в первую очередь создание благоприятных условий для бизнеса, это сокращение лицензий, сокращение государственных услуг, передача на аутсорсинг, это ограничение вмешательства государства в бизнес, это сокращение проверок, да? Это создание очень легких процедур для получения разрешительных документов. То есть такие моменты, которые будут в дальнейшем структурно менять отношение государства к бизнесу, с другой стороны, будет создавать очень хорошие условия для развития бизнеса. Второй момент – это инвестиционный климат. Что нужно для инвестиционного климата? Мы все понимаем, и бизнес, который занимается, инвестирует, ежедневно сталкивается с проблемами, и государственные чиновники, которые ежедневно принимают какие-то решения. Во-первых, это нужно, инвестиционный климат должен быть предсказуемым, стабильный в налоговом отношении, стабильный в других законах, которые будут затрагивать бизнес. Да? Это защита собственности, это защита интересов бизнеса, это защита инвестиций. А также бизнес должен понимать, что те затраты, которые он несет, он должен иметь на какой-то определенный период какие-то льготы. То, что вот Даврон, вы закладываете, да, и мне кажется, что вот такие вот системные, структурные, продуманные решения, она будет помогать и отвечать тем вызовам, которые мы сейчас называем. Потому что в сегодняшней геополитике очень конкурентная среда. Технологии настолько быстро растут, и за ними надо просто успевать. И вот в этом отношении мне еще нравится такая политика цифровизации. В целом, не только бизнеса, в целом государства, государственных услуг, да, это тоже будет давать возможность. Это вопрос образования. Мы вчера были вот на университете, который ТОБИ открывает совместные, современный очень университет, который будет воспитывать по-новому и обращать по новым методам, обращать очень хорошее внимание на качество. Это медицинские услуги, потому что те люди, которые будут проживать, они хотят получать качественные услуги. Все это будет способствовать для того, чтобы Узбекистан стал локомотивом не только внутри Узбекистана, не только в Центральной Азии, не только в туркоязычных государствах. А я считаю, что у Узбекистана есть такой хороший шанс. Да, во-первых, очень трудолюбивый народ, очень емкий рынок, население 36-37 миллионов, она ежегодно растет на 1 миллион человек, создается ежегодно там 300-400 тысяч новых рабочих мест. Это все вот дает возможность нам думать, что в перспективе Узбекистан с новой политикой, новый Узбекистан получит очень хорошую возможность. Я хотел бы всех вас поблагодарить за то, что у вас было терпение выслушать мои суждения. Спасибо.
Он был премьер-министр Киргизии. Очень большой опыт. И вчера во время выступления турецких объединенных государств были очень хорошие предложения со стороны Киргизии. И мы уверены, каждый год только увеличивается товарооборот. И уже наши компании, узбекские или совместные компании, они делают кооперационное производство Киргизии и Узбекистана. Это, по-моему, все показатели, которые за последние 6 лет, как страны дружат друг другу еще тесно. Самое главное, бизнес тесно границы.
Thank you. It's very much consistent with what Senator Sodiq Safayev said this morning here on this very stage about the importance of intensifying regional cooperation, of really coming together and flourishing together, collaboration rather than competition. I think that's something that here we see a splendid example of exactly that. Amar, let me turn to you because once again, we're talking about international experts and entrepreneurs such as yourself. You are an expert in finance and clean technology policies based in Germany, and perhaps a decade ago, a country like Uzbekistan would not have been on your radar, but here you are. Tell us also about how did you first became attracted to Uzbekistan as a place to invest?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all the other speakers and delegates over here. Firstly, I would like to take from what other speakers has mentioned from 2016 onwards. So after 2016 onwards, it's not only the industrial revolution that happened in Uzbekistan, but also at the same time, it started off with the climate actions as well. And the European Union, EBRD, and other international organizations, whether it is UNDP, GIZ, and all, they all started like looking at Uzbekistan as an opportunity to invest in the climate sector as well. Currently, like EBRD, ADB, they are all having big pockets, and they are all actually investing in big numbers when you see the clean tech and climate smart financing. Just one example I would like to give from my personal experience. So we as Adelphi, Germany, we are working with a project called REAP, which is resource efficiency in agri-food processing. And like we are funded by European Union, and under this we have partnered with the Chamber of Commerce of Uzbekistan. And we are working, it's a small project, like let's say we are working with 500 MSMEs over here, and we are bringing the clean tech production, and we are bringing clean tech finance, and we are bringing clean tech policies to Uzbekistan. Thanks to Chamber of Commerce, like we are working in 3 regions currently, in Bukhara, in Fergana, and in Tashkent area. And the first and foremost thing which we got supported from the Chamber of Commerce was that we have been provided with the technical consultants, which are really keen to learn more on the climate technologies and how to implement the resource efficiencies and how to implement the clean tech products and all in the industries. And then basically we trained them, and then the chamber helped us in terms of mobilizing industries and all. To my surprise, the industries are very open to implement the resource efficient production over here. Even though when there have been some kind of investment they had to put, but they understood that these climate smart technologies are going to be the future, and let's say current future rather than a future. And currently, the ministries over here are also coming up with the SCP policies, like the Sustainable Consumption and Production policies, and the Clean Tech Finance and the Green Finance Taxonomy is going to be produced by next year. So we are very much looking forward in terms of the international side from EBRD, European Union, to invest more in the climate smart technologies here. Thanks.
Thank you, Amar, for sharing your experience and also about your surprise about how open, how welcoming this business environment here is at the end of the day for entrepreneurs. Jamshid Uranov, that is something that does not happen by accident, to have entrepreneurs on the stage and praise the accessibility and the openness with which they are greeted and with which they find opportunities here. Was there a eureka moment? Talk us through. When post 2016, when was it realized? When did you realize that there has to be a fundamental structural change here in Uzbekistan in order to bring entrepreneurs and innovators like Amar on board?
Assalamu alaikum. And hozir savolga qisqacha javob beradigan bo'lsam, biz bilamiz praktikada kitayskiy 7 yil davomida umuman navbat berdi. Faqat pastga qarab tomir beradi. Lekin 1 yil ichida nechadir metrga o'sib ketadi. Va biz bilamiz 40 metrgacha, undan 40 metrgacha o'sib ketadi. Xuddi shunday mana bizlar Qirg'izistondan bizning kollegamiz aytdilar. Haqiqatan ham O'zbekiston transformatsiya sekin amalga oshib, bizni birinchidan tadbirkorlik qilishni o'rgandik. Chunki tadbirkorlarimiz man tadbirkor deyishdi, tadbirkorlik faoliyatidan taqiqlangan paytda yashagan. Biz o paytda yosh bo'lganmiz, davrimiz davrlari ko'rmas. Tadbirkorlik bilan shug'ullanamiz, jinoyat. 70 yil vaqt tizimda yashagandan keyin odamni fikrlashi, ongi o'zgarish kerak. Va bu ma'lum bir muddatni talab qiladi. 16-yilda albatta biz mana butun dunyo tanlovlarda o'zimiz ham mana hozir orqaga 5 yil, 10 yil orqaga solishtirib qaraganda hozir tadbirkorlarning o'rnida farqli. Biz hozir ko'nikib qoldik. Imtiyozlar berilyapti. 20-avgustda prezidentimiz bilan uchrashib, tadbirkorlar bilan to'g'ridan-to'g'ri gaplashib, vazirlarimiz, shu bosh vazir o'rinbosarlari, bosh vazirimiz hammamiz borib o'sha prezident topshiriqlariga asosan borib uchrashyapmiz. Yo'q bu narsa. Milliardlab, endi milliard sarflab qo'yar, lekin million dollarlik kreditlarni olib tadbirkorlarimiz katta ishlab chiqarishni qilyapti. 100 million dollar, 50 million dollarlik производство qilib O'zbekistonda deganda biz uchun uylab kerak. Shuning uchun men bir narsani aytmoqchiman. Biza 16-yilda haqiqatan ham butun qurilish bo'ldi. 17-yilda va 18-yilda buni mevasini ko'rish boshladi. Bizlarni asosiy o'zgarishimiz sababi bir narsani tan olish kerak. Bizlar tadbirkorlarga qo'yilgan huquqlarni ularga qaytarib berish orqali erishdik. Buning uchun nima qilindi? Hozir davrimiz aytib o'tdi. 3000 dan ortiq normativ hujjatlar qabul qilindi. Bularning aksariyati prezident qarorlari va farmonlari. Bu nima degani? Tadbirkorlarimizga o'z aslida tegishli bo'lgan va shular tomonidan erkin ishlatilishi mumkin bo'lgan huquqlari ularga sekinlik bilan qaytarib beriladi. Sekinlik degani ham bu sal umar bo'lsa kerak, shiddat bilan kerak. Chunki davronaki ba'zi paytlar shunaqa ko'p normativ hujjatlar kelib chiqardiki, biz hatto o'zimiz ham o'tirolmaymiz. Chunki buni amaliyotda qo'llashni nazorat qilish biznes ombudsmanga bo'ladi. Ikkita jihatga e'tiborlaringizni qaratmoqchiman. 2016-yilda shunaqa transformatsiyalar yuzaga keldiki, biz hozirgi kunda tadbirkor deganda erkin, puli bor, o'ziga ishonchi komil insonni tushunamiz. Va tadbirkorlarimiz aksariyat holatlarda gapirganda g'ururlanib gapiradi. Men tadbirkorman. Biza eng katta yutug'imiz bugungi kunda tadbirkorman deb faxrlanishni o'rgandik. Ilgari bu narsa yo'q. Ikkinchidan mana hozir institut haqida qirg'izistonlik kollegamiz aytdilar. Universitetlarga, institutlarga borsa, men aytgan narsa bular kosveniy faktorlar, bular chetdan qarab boshqa narsa haqida xabar beruvchi faktorlar. Institutlarga borsak, tadbirkorlarimiz hozirgi kunda davlat ishiga kirishni ilgarigidek orzu qilmayapti. Ilgari 100% talabalarimiz davlat ishiga kiraman, davlat ishida ishlayman dedi. Hozir nima? Hozir xususiy kompaniyaga ishga boraman yoki o'zimning tadbirkorligimni yo'lga qo'yaman dedi. Bu nima degani? Bu o'sha bizani yosh ertaga bizani kelajagimizni quradigan va o'sha 20 yildan keyin 30 yildan keyin bizning siyosatimizni belgilaydigan insonlarning tadbirkorlikka ishonchi ortganligini bildiradi. Bizda hozirgi kundagi talabalarimizga qarab 20 yildan keyin O'zbekistonda bo'lishni bilamiz. Bu juda muhim hal. Shunday ekan, bizlar hozirgi boshlagan narsani aytdingiz, orqaga burib bo'lmaydi. Faqat oldinga boramiz. Olib qo'yilgan huquqlarni yana ko'proq beramiz. Shuning uchun ham har yil davlat rahbarlarimizlari 20-avgust kuni bevosita uchrashadilar. Har yil biz imtiyozlarni kutamiz. Har yil biz qanaqadir yangiliklarni kutamiz. Endi biznes ombudsman faoliyati qisqa to'xtaladigan bo'lsam, 2017-yilda biznes ombudsman instituti tashkil qilingan O'zbekistonda birinchi marta. Bunaqa bu kabi institutlar, misol uchun Gruziya, Rossiya, Qozog'iston, Qirg'izistonda bor, Polshada bor, Ukrainada bor, boshqa davlatlarda bor hammasi. Lekin davlatimiz rahbari bizga shunaqa ko'p vakolat berdiki, O'zbekiston biznes ombudsmanida bo'lgan vakolatlar boshqa biznes ombudsmanda yo'q. Sababi bizlar tadbirkorlarimiz uchun ularning manfaati sudga ham qatnashamiz. Ular ilgari bizga ishtirokimizsiz ko'rilgan, tadbirkorlarimizga nisbatan ko'rilgan sud qarorlaridan shikoyat qilishimiz mumkin. Qonunlarimizda belgilangan imtiyozlarni agar davlat xodimlari qo'llamaydigan bo'lsa, ularni hatto javobgarlikka, ma'muriy javobgarlikka tortishgacha bo'lgan bizga huquqlar beriladi. Shunday ekan, davlatimiz bugungi kunda tadbirkorlar bizdagi o'sha O'zbekiston iqtisodini rivojlantiradigan yagona va eng muhim kuchligini tushunib yetamiz, buni bilamiz, tan olamiz va qo'llanayotgan o'sha hamma iqtisodiy o'zgarishlar shunga qaratilgan. Hozirgi kunda ko'p va tadbirkorlarni
Uzbekistan, after 2016, if I understand it correctly, has awakened an entrepreneurial spirit within its society, and that's a genie now out of the bottle. There's no turning back. It's full speed from here on, and of course, in the process, protecting the rights and interests of entrepreneurial subjects, both internally but also from those coming abroad. Thank you so much. Adam Kula, let me turn to you as the Secretary General of the Union of Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Turkey. If you're looking at Uzbekistan now, as opposed to say 7-8 years ago, the differences are stark, aren't they?
Dear moderator, thank you, and organizers, Excellencies Devran Agov, the Chairman of the Chamber of Commerce of Uzbekistan, and dear participants, hörmətli iştirakçılar, həmkarlar, benim adım Adam Kula, Türkiye Devletler Teşkilatı Sözel Sanat Palatalarının Başkanıyım. I just want to change the few things. I am not Secretary of the Turkey, but Turkic. Yes, so we are 8 countries.
Big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. We are joint chamber of 8 countries: Uzbekistan, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic, Hungary, and also Turkmenistan and Northern Cyprus. So, coming back to your question, it's a crucial question. I think this question was partly answered by our participants and speakers, and I truly agree. I have been following since my business career in Uzbekistan since 2007, and it was so difficult even to come as an official to Uzbekistan. Many projects were implemented by us, but due to the strict restrictions, we couldn't even come to Uzbekistan. And our attempts were questioned, and many process being held at that time. But after the 2016, His Excellency's Shavkat Mirziyoyev came to power, and it was one of the first progress and reformation is about business, opening the business. As in the video you see, there was more than 3,000 reformations in business, legislation on law. Therefore, it's a great process. It's a first step, let's say, and we see the transactions was liberated. So it was one of the best achievements, I can say, transactions, because the companies that are in foreign relations, they have to open banking system. So this was the, I can say, is the first step which was implemented. Of course, there are many, and we see today Uzbek entrepreneurs are playing an important role, and the numbers increase a lot. So therefore, I want to focus on, because I'm not an entrepreneur, but we are the chambers, so we are regulating the system and also helping the entrepreneurs to do business. So I want to focus on more the umbrella organizations, like the Chamber of Commerce of Industry, and their importance in playing role. So, therefore, umbrella organizations like Chamber of Commerce of Industries, their reformations also important in order to help the companies. So they have to be reformed first in order to help the companies to do business. As we see, number of the entrepreneurs increasing in Uzbekistan, we also see the Chamber of Commerce of Industry of Republic of Uzbekistan as a great achievement. Since this last year, many legislations also held in the chamber, and today membership is increasing, and then supports to the companies by the chamber also increase. Therefore, institutional reformation is also important, not only the government but also the umbrella organizations. Like also today we have associations in Uzbekistan. Many associations is created, and they play important role for Uzbekistan's exports. So Uzbekistan's export associations under their new legislation is also important because it's another way to improve the business and exports. And of course, export plays an important role for country development. We need the foreign exchange in order to supply, because the deficits supplying the governments is one issue, and but secondly, the entrepreneurs should bring foreign exchange to the country. So therefore, this legislation is also important. And important role. Third point I would like to say, it was also mentioned in our one of the speakers, and also Mr. Jamshid, universities. A good example between the Turkey and then Uzbekistan is the creation of the joint university, TOPETI, Top Technology and Economy University. This is important. Why? Because it's a joint project by the chambers, but in order to improve the entrepreneurship. This is the only university in Uzbekistan. Entrepreneurs, there is a faculty of entrepreneurship, newcomers, such kind of new innovative departments that bringing students together and work on these specific issues to promote entrepreneurship. And chambers they provide this. Therefore, I would humbly suggest that this university, in order to make new entrepreneurs in Uzbekistan, in the new Uzbekistan, is quite important. When they study in this university, first year they study is a basic program, but second semester they are in training. So they are working practically, and they go to Turkey in the universities or companies. So they are able to work during their university years. They can work in the public sector, they can work in the private sector, they can work in the international organizations, and experience all these fields before they graduate. So therefore, they're able to choose as soon as they get graduated from university. And therefore, I want to emphasize this as a good example of between the countries and the role of the chambers in order to provide entrepreneurship in the Uzbekistan. Another thing that I would like to mention is about arbitration. Arbitration plays an important role for sustaining foreign investors. But international arbitrations plays more important. International arbitrations making the local law supreme than local law is extremely important for a country. When the international arbitration is implied perfectly using international arbitration centers like New York, Stockholm, even we established in Istanbul Taksim Merkezi Arbitration Center. There's also in Tashkent Arbitration Center. I will recommend the companies to use more effectively this arbitration center to make the business properly. And of course, a few words for the young entrepreneurs and the countries that plays an important role, which are like trademarks, patents, copyrights, and trade secrets. So before the starting of all these young entrepreneurs, the countries and regulations has to be focused on these important things. Patent laws honor the first inventor to file a patent, not the first person to make the invention. Therefore, like patents, copyrights, and as I said, trade secrets. So these things are important being as entrepreneurs. I don't want to continue more because of the time limitation. If there are any questions, most welcome, and thank you again for organizing such a timely event. And I congratulate organizers and also wish success in the elections 9th of July.
Initiatives, there's going to be a segment devoted just for that very subject matter, for education, because it is, and you pointed it out yourself, obviously, if you will, the bread and butter, the basis for everything that is to come afterwards. Thank you so much. To round out the discussion, the fruitful discussion that we've been having so far, I'd like to bring in Fırat Deniz, now Fırat, the founder of Zelal Textil. Again, you've known this area for longer than probably someone like Amar, who is relatively speaking new to this region. So you can speak proficiently about the Uzbekistan post-2016 and the current status and the changes, of course, that has been reiterated here on stage. But you personally, as an entrepreneur, how much easier has it gotten for someone like you to access the market, to do your thing and to flourish here in this environment?
Здравствуйте. Я приехал в 2016 год. 2016. Погромче. 2016 год. Сегодня 2023 год. Наше производство, как начался, очень трудно. Тогда мне работали 400 человек, условия не очень были. Но сейчас 9000 человек у нас работает. У нас экспорт больше 100 миллионов долларов. Нашим качеством все очень довольны. могу сказать, да, очень трудно было, но сейчас, спасибо нашим президентам Шавкат Мирзиёеву, нам очень облегчил. Как говорится, новый Узбекистан. Это как пример, как вы говорите.
Если у нас в текстильной отрасли больше 4 знаете, от чего мы радуемся? Что с Турции приходят и ставят производство в Узбекистане, как такового, в Узбекистане есть сырьевая база, им это комфортно, и это неудобно. Я уверен, эти 100 миллионов долларов эта компания поставила перед собой уже в этом году сделать 150 все отрасли, которые вот так занимаются, в каждой отрасли есть с какой-то страны приезжают хорошие инвесторы, которые также обучают нашу молодежь, практикуют.
Pakistan 2016 was a starting point for something great, for great reforms. I've also pointed out this morning, a lot of work still to be done, a lot of room for improvement for any country, not just Uzbekistan. Give us a very quick overview. How you intend to build upon achievements that you have heard up until now. This is not the time to relent. This is not a time to relax. Quite on the contrary, this is perhaps more a time now to step on the gas and go full throttle. What is in 2023? The next step and the next step?
Bittasi, bemalol aytamiz, tadbirkorlik rivojlanib ketyapti va to'xtatib bo'lmaydi. Endi esa tadbirkorga mutaxassis muammosi bor, mutaxassis yetishtirish. Ya'ni hozir endi bu yoqqa tadbirkorlar ham ta'lim, ham ularga tajriba va shu mutaxassis yetishtira olsak, tadbirkorga yetishmayotgan asosiy muammolardan bittasi qo'lostidagi mutaxassislar rivojlanish. Bu bo'yicha ham yangi yo'nalishlar, yangi imkoniyatlar bo'lyapti. Tadbirkorlarga agar mutaxassis bo'lsa, rivojlanish yanada tezlashishi va bu narsani men aniq ayta olaman. Asosiy muammoimiz mutaxassis, ularni o'qitish, tajriba ortish. Shuning uchun mana adayman bekorga aytmadi. Qo'shma ta'lim va qo'shma universitetlar bizdagi tadbirkorlarga mutaxassislar yetishtiradigan tashabbus. Bu ham bo'lsa o'zimiz tadbirkorlar bugun kunni bo'lish boshlaganmiz. Rahmat.
Ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up a very interesting, very insightful, very informative session on the many achievements and results of Uzbekistan's flourishing business environment. I, for one, certainly have learned a lot throughout this session, many numbers and impressive figures and stats that you have provided here. Can only suggest one direction, and that is forward, that is seizing upon the momentum that your country has achieved, build upon it, and create a legacy here. I want to thank my esteemed speakers for their participation, for their insights, for their thought-provoking statements, and wish you all, of course, needless to say, on behalf of everyone here in the audience, best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the third of 4 sessions that we have in total for the opening day. Now we deserve, I think we deserve after the session another coffee break for all of us, which we will ensure, and then we're going to come back here for the culminating, the 4th and last session of the day. Thank you so much for your attention.